Uh, Hello and good evening. Sorry, I look like a complete wreck. I should have been washed my hair and smocked myself up. But here I am. Sorry we're a bit late. And yes, it's a total disaster with the lighting as usual. The stupid lighting is rubbish. Now I look like Donald Trump, but here we go. So, Liberty Capes, good evening to you, or Liberty Caps, sorry. Hello and good evening. So, Andrea Bono, yes, we love Andrea. Pig Pig, hello, we love Pig Pig. That's very nice of you to call me sexy, but I don't think I'm quite Rod Stewart yet. No, I'm not quite in that league. Linz and Ron M, and we've got our lovely birds in the background. You can hear them. The birds. Nicola Crompton and Keeley and Enigma. Hello, Enigma, and Jane O'Keefe and Linz and Tina De Silva. There we are. Pig Pig says you are our Rod Stewart. Okay, well, I don't know if I quite want to be Rod Stewart quite yet. He's a bit older than me, and I'm not quite into being Rod Stewart. So, anyway, the light is shining in my eyes, and it's driving me mad. I hate this light. It's absolutely useless. It doesn't help me in any way of form, shape, or whatever. I would have been better off sitting outside. So, unfortunately, here we are. We are here now, so we won't be moving because it is rather windy out there, and we'll have to come inside. Ultimately, I have the candlelight also, but I don't think the candlelight's going to make much difference at this stage. But this lighting is very seriously irritating. Now, if I move it around, it doesn't make much difference. No, no, no. No, it's absolutely annoying. That'll do for the moment. No, that won't do for the moment because it's awful. It's absolutely appalling. But you can't do anything on these silly programs with these YouTube channels without. That's a better lighting, but it means I'm looking like I can't even see a thing. Okay, so we'll carry on. So, anyway, good evening and welcome to you all. So, there's lots of you coming in, there's more and more of you. And have you any questions to begin? Have you any questions? Because there's a few things I'd like to talk about, but we won't talk about them until there's a few more of you here. So, let's have a few of those, and then we'll have one of your favorite quizzes, a Monday quiz. Yes, right. Well, I'd like to talk a bit further about Lucy Letby, and I'd like to talk a bit more about Jeremy Bamber, to be honest. I think they're the two topics of the moment that I think are relevant. The Criminal Cases Review Commission and their absolute incompetence. I do think that the Criminal Review Cases Commission is absolutely useful, but we'll come to that when there's a few more of you here. So let's have a different topic to begin with. What do I think happened with the Texas flood? Well, they didn't have a proper alert system in place, and these poor people got washed away. It's a tragedy. It's an absolute tragedy, and they need to have a better alert system, don't they? That's probably what they needed there. So I don't know. Beyond that, I can't really comment. I'm no expert on that region. I've been to Texas once in my life. I love Texas. I think it's a great place. I've got many Texan friends, actually. My Texan friends are very straight talking, straight down the line, straight people. I like my Texan friends. Okay, yeah, they're very successful Texans. I don't know what other people in Texas are like, but these ones are mega successful Texans. I'm not going to say who they are because that would be unfair to them, but Texas is a great place, and I visited there a few times, a couple of times, maybe a couple of times. It wasn't that many, but it's a wonderful, wonderful place. Is old Texas, and of course, Texas, was an independent state until it joined the United States of America in whatever year it was. So I think it was 1860 something. So. I can't remember the exact year, but there we go. It's one of my quiz questions for your future quizzes. So, there you go. There's a Texan question, but I'm sorry for those poor people. It's an absolute tragedy. It's appalling, and those poor children that were washed away, and these trailers, and a lesson to you all: don't go on holiday in a trailer park, or just don't do it. Okay, I know plenty of people who are very successful in the world of trailer parks. I'm not going to say who because that would be incorrect. And but I think going in staying in caravans and things like that, not a good idea. Don't do it. Just don't do it. But the danger there was not caused by that. It was caused by the fact that there was no warning system in place, I believe. So that's all I can say. I don't know. I'm no expert and I'm no disaster expert. So I'm purely speculating. It's absolute, just you've given me a question and I've tried to answer it, but I'm not able to answer your question properly, I will admit. So if I can't answer your question, I will admit it. Right, okay. Yes, you've got the sunlight today puts a circle on the wall. It's there is a sun circle above the palm tree. Yes, there we go. Right. Okay. Have we any questions on any other topics? Let's have a few more questions because we're not quite at the breaking point yet. Okay. The tennis. What do I think of the tennis? Well, I think these tennis players are doing fabulously, absolutely wonderfully. I don't think their AI system, their new system, is a very good idea. They shouldn't be having that. That's a waste of time. They should go back to the traditional system. The traditional system has worked well for hundreds of years. So why don't you go back to the traditional system? So go back to the traditional system. Okay, the new system is rubbish, says Ron M. I totally agree with you. Sack the traditional, the new system, and go back to the traditional system. Its proof is in the proof is in the pudding, and it failed on its first attempt. So get rid of it. Go back to your old system. It's rather like with trains. Trains used to work in the old days, and now they don't. They're just useless. Trains are absolutely awful and ruined. Go back to the old way of running a train, and trains will be fantastic again. Have the buffet car, have all the other things that made train travel glorious. Let's make trains great again. Donald Trump style, I could say. Let's make trains great again. So that's something we need also. So I'm very disappointed in what they're doing with these trains, and I'm very disappointed in getting rid of the Royal Train. I know it makes sense to get rid of the Royal Train because they like going around on helicopters because it's supposedly cheaper, but the Royal Train was a symbol of national pride, and it's a great shame to get rid of it. And what has happened to Sir Donald Gosling, my lovely friend Sir Donald Gosling's £250 million that he gave for a new royal yacht? Where is the money? What has happened to that money? Because he gave £250 million to build a new royal yacht. Why don't they build a new royal yacht? We need a new royal yacht. It was a great example for trade and industry. It was a great exhibition of wonderful things for Britain. And it could have been a fantastic thing. And Sir Donald Gosling offered to pay for it. He gave £250 million in his will. So where there's a will, there should be a way. So we should know what is going on with the £250 million given by Sir Donald Gosling for a new royal yacht. Let's find out what is going on there, please. We need to know the answers. Let's be having the answers. Come on, Keir Starmer. Answer the question. And you, raving arena, What's going on with you, you old bag? And are you crying, Rachel? Rachel the crybaby? We need to know some answers on this. Yes. There we go. Um, you're talking of how Cliff Richard had an affair with Sue Barker. Right. Okay. Well, Cliff Richard claims to have had an affair with all sorts of people. They deny having had an affairs with him, and they have made it very clear they did not have an affair with Cliff Richard. Cliff Richard is very involved with a Christian creepy vicar, a male. He goes around with him. He's a creep and he's revolting. He's absolutely disgusting. And when he dies, you'll all learn the truth. So don't worry about that. Cliff Richard is a repugnant stain on humanity. He's revolting. He's up there in the horrible, horrible league. He's a liar as well. I've proven him to be a liar because he lied about how many times he'd met Lord Boothby, the paedophile MP, Lord Boothby. Because I've got 3 photographs of him in 3 outfits with Lord Boothby. He said he only met Lord Boothby once. So did he get changed 3 times during the encounter? The man is a complete creep. The creepy Christian crooner, Cliff Richard, is a complete fraudster. And sue me, Cliff Richard. I'd love you to sue me, mate. Come on, bring it on. We'd love to have a court case with you, because then the truth about you, creepy Christian crooner, Cliff Richard, you vile, horrible, horrible, horrible man, would come out. And it's time that, the BBC got it wrong in the way they pursued you, but it doesn't mean that you're not a nice man. You're not a nasty man. You are a nasty man. You and your friends, Cilla Black, who covered up for you, good old Gloria Hunniford, who covered up for you, all the rest of them, you are revolting. Creepy, creepy, creepy Cliff. Off the cliff. That's what I say it should go. And your calendar. Oh dear, your calendar didn't get win this year. Oh dear, what a shame. We should all be crying on the kitchen floor like you were when you were lying on the kitchen tiles crying. You're a right old crybaby, aren't you? You pathetic. You're a pathetic man who has achieved not much other than Christmas time, mistletoe and wine, singing horrible songs like that, and annoying the nation, and hanging around with your nasty friends, Gloria and Cilla. Terrible people. And I don't like those people. Yes. Right. Biscuitech says Cliff's records are good winter fuel. What? You want to burn them? Well, I hope you do. Ronnie Cray wanted to have Cliff. Whether he achieved it, I don't know. Well, he was photographed with Cliff Richard. Yes, Ronnie Cray was photographed with him. I've got the photographs. I've got all the photographs of Cliff you couldn't imagine. Cliff is a very, good old Kitty, as he was known at the Elm Guest House, with his little apron that he used to wear. Lovely old Cliff. Carol Kazir, who was murdered at the Elm Guest House, and her husband, the Iraqi. We know a little bit about Cliff and what went on at the Elm Guest House. So he was on the guest list. He was a regular, and he was known as Kitty. Kitty was his nickname, and he used to wear an apron, allegedly. So how lovely. What a lovely thing. Kitty Pilchard. Yes, well, there we are. Thistletoe and wine, totally filthy, you say. Yes, I agree with you. Spill the beans on Cliff. I've told you, the Elm Guest House is the story that will come out once it reaches a point. I've shown videos of Cliff Richard to everybody from Bill Gates to my mother, and my mother and Bill Gates and many others in between have all said the same thing. The man is revolting. He's disgusting. When you play the video from Loose Women, where he talks about how he was weeping on the kitchen floor and he was wandering around and everybody loved him, and there were the angels of, of delight at his gates when they came to speak to him. He's totally deranged. The man is a lunatic. He won't have any reference made to the vicar he goes around with, the weird vicar. The weird vicar is a very strange thing. I find people who are deeply religious. Look, I have no problem with people being religious. If you want to be religious, good for you. I'm not religious. I don't follow religion. I don't believe in idolatry. But I do believe there is a higher being. But it's just I don't believe in the church. I don't believe in any form of church. I don't want to be religious myself. But this Cliff Richard, he lives off his bloody Christianity. He goes on and on and on and on and on. He's like on an Irish Ston. He's like one of those washing machines. He goes round and round and round, like around the houses. The man is a complete maniac. He's a religious freak. He's totally over the top. Enough is enough. You never took to Cliff, says Jules B. Well, I totally agree with you. Yes, well, Bill Gates. Yes, well, Bill Gates didn't like Cliff Richard when I showed him a video. So I did show a video of Cliff Richard to Bill Gates. I know many of you don't like Bill Gates because you think he's a nasty, nasty man who does bad things. But Bill Gates has been a very decent person to my family, and my mother has enjoyed working with him. And he is a wonderful, wonderful man, and he did a lot of good for my sister. So I'm not going to go into what he did for my sister because it's a private matter. But I will say Bill Gates is a good man who does good for humanity, whereas Cliff Richard is a bad man who does a lot of bad for humanity. Cliff Richard is a Burke. Cliff Richard should rot off and shove himself up his own jumper. He's a disgusting, revolting, evil man. There is something creepy beyond belief about this nasty, nasty supposed Christian who hangs around with Ronnie Cray, a gangster who murdered people. And he was quite happy to hang around with Lord Boothby, a paedophile. Lord Boothby, the paedophile. And he was in multiple photographs, and he claimed he only met him once. I proved him wrong. Sorry, I got 3 photographs, so I proved that he's a liar. Liar, liar, pants on fire. That is what you are, Cliff Richard. You are a complete liar. Sue me, you little bastard. You sued the BBC. Go in ahead, sue me. You haven't. I've said it repeatedly. I'm not scared of you, Cliff Richard, because when you die, it'll be like Jimmy Savile Mark II. We'll have all the same things gone through. I'm not saying Cliff Richard is in the league of Jimmy Savile. I'm just saying he's a deeply unpleasant man who has done a lot of deeply unpleasant things. And because of all of the fear of upsetting this national treasure, I would say national disgrace, you won't do anything, BBC, will you? BBC, you get it wrong every time. What did you do at Glastonbury? My mother went to Glastonbury, and my mother said it was too political. That was her criticism of it. There were plenty of nice things, she said, at Glastonbury, but you turned it into political because of what you did with that stupid idiot who said stupid things. The BBC should be ashamed of itself. We should privatize the BBC. Enough is enough. The BBC is a scandalous, useless, second-rate organization that has lost its way. I love the Archers, for example. I listen to the Archers every day. I love things like that. That's a nice bit of the BBC, and I will not criticize them for that. But the overall impression of the news, and I love the Radio 4 Today program. I listen to it every morning. I love the Broadcasting House. The Saturday Live has become woke. You know, when it had Reverend Richard Coles, it was fabulous. And now you've ruined it. This Nikki Beatty, you know, she is a friend of a friend, and my friend loves her and thinks she's great. But I'm sorry, Nikki. Nikki, you're not doing a good job because you don't even include the audience in your program. The Reverend Richard used to get the audience involved. I used to get involved myself. You know, everybody got involved, but you just make it all about sort of woke people. It's so boring, actually. You've ruined Saturday Live. And then we've got Lucy Worsley. You know, my friend from Broadstairs, Peter Cherry, you know, lovely Peter. We cannot stand that dreadful Lucy. She's an absolute waste of space. Get her off the radio. She's boring. Get her off the TV. She's totally dull. All she does is rant and rave and make things up. And everything's got to have an agenda with her. Her agenda is boring. Come on. Let's have some real, proper reporting. Let's get some proper news. Get back to decent journalism, the BBC. We want real journalism. We want reporting, reportage. We want everything, but we don't want woke. Quit the bloody woke. Wake up and smell the coffee to the woke. I don't drink coffee, but you should drink the woke. Get the woke out of your system. You need to have that out of the system. So, no, I'm very specific. Yes, happy birthday to Jane Austen, says Jane O'Keefe. Well, it is 250 anniversary. I don't know if it's today, but it was around about now. You want to free Nelson Mandela? Well, it's a bit late for that. He's dead, isn't he? So you can't free Nelson Mandela. So I'm sorry, that's not really over Cliff's sake. There we go. Right, you ready for a quiz? Anyway, I will say that I just don't like Cliff Richard. I'll be honest, I don't like the man. I think he's a creep, and I've spoken out about him on many occasions, and once he's dead, you'll find that maybe I might be telling the truth. The truth might start to finally come out. It might take a couple of years, because, of course, the minute he dies, there will be the plaudits of, oh, you know, what a wonderful man he was and all that rubbish. It will all be like that for 5 minutes or maybe 2 years. But after that, it'll all be the same. Look at the couple today. The couple on the path. I've forgotten their name. The dreadful couple. I don't know. I haven't got the bloody newspaper. Or I have got the newspaper. The dreadful couple. So I actually read the Observer article. The dreadful couple. The Salt Path couple. So the Salt Path couple. What do you think of them? Have you any opinions on the Salt Path couple? This nasty little couple who turn out to be a pair of fraudsters. They remind me of a lot of people I've come across in my life, actually. They are disgusting. These two revolting people, the Salt Path couple. You know, they've been played by Gillian Anderson and Jason Isaacs in the movie. And I read the Observer article myself this morning. There is a Daily Mail. I've got a Daily Mail article, which is a kind of summary of some of it. But I actually read the full Daily Mail, the Observer article, where the brilliant journalist actually did a good job. Myself and my friend from the Daily Mail, who was a brilliant journalist. She said, actually, that is a fine example of proper journalism, where she went off and she went to visit them in France, where they didn't turn up. And she went to visit where they used to live. And she went to this place and she went to that place and she went to the other. She met the garage owner they conned. It turns out that these two, this Salt Path couple, best-selling article, international bestseller, it says, by Penguin. They're a pair of liars. They're a pair of crooks. Now, in the past, there have been people who've written books like this, and they've told a pack of lies, and readers have got together and sued them. These two should be sued. Rayner and Moth Wynne should be sued. Take them to court. These two should be sued. Well, their publishers should be sued. Sue Penguin for a start. I think the readers should be given their money back because they thought it was an inspirational story. It wasn't an inspirational story. It was a pack of lies. They stole from all these people. They're just a pair of thieves. They're a pair of thieving toe rags. Absolute disgraces. Yes, the Observer exposed the fact that Rayner and Moth Wynne were the con men, not the con victims, and still investigating Moth was truly ill. Yes, she lied about her illness also. She's a liar. Liar, liar, pants on fire. These two are a disgrace. Well said, Gallery New. Welcome to you. Yeah, filthy rich. Yeah, says Jules B. Yeah, they're probably living in La Vida Loca, wherever they're living, on all the profits from this book and all the rest of it. It is an utter disgrace. Wouldn't you agree? In the background?
Yes.
We want these two prosecuted. We want them arrested. Well, they won't get arrested, but they should be sued, and they should be forced to give back all the money from that book because they're a pair of liars, pants on fire. I don't like them at all. I haven't watched the film. I haven't read the book. And thank God I haven't, because at least I didn't give them any money. Because if I had, I'd be very angry. If I were one of the people who'd given them money for this book, I would be furious. It's not the fault of Gillian Anderson. Gillian Anderson is a lovely lady. I have met Gillian. Gillian is a good lady. I don't know Jason Isaacs, but it's not their fault. They simply played a role in a film and did what they did. It wasn't their fault that these people have actually hoodwinked everybody all the way to date. It's not the fault of Gillian Anderson or Jason Isaacs. They don't deserve any criticism for this. But the Penguin book company do deserve criticism because Penguin published the book in the first place. Why did Penguin not do any fact-checking before publishing the book? Penguin, you are a shameful company in that sense. But the filmmakers obviously just made things because there have been multiple books by these two. So you bought into it. The filmmakers I cannot criticize because the publishers led the way to you. But, why has nobody actually done any fact checking? I have met Gillian Anderson. Yes, she's a very nice lady. Yes, Ionescu. But honestly, I do think that this is an utter scandal and an utter disgrace. It's like the post office scandal. Where's the fact checking? Do some work. Go behind the scenes. Look at the evidence. A fact is not a fact until you've proven it's a fact. How many times do I have to tell people this until they listen to me? A fact, it's a great line from Patricia Highsmith, who wrote The Talented Mr. Ripley. And she was a complete lunatic who, went around with snails in her handbag, but she was a brilliantly talented writer who actually had a brain. These two, I'm looking at the photo of them. I'd never heard of them before all of this. I'd never even heard of them. And they look annoying. They look like the most annoying pair. Her in a sort of moth-eaten jumper, and him holding his dog in his arms, and they look smugger than smug. They are a pair of liars, and they look like a pair of liars. So anyway, liar, liar, pants on fire, the salt path. So we don't like the salt path. So no, they can go in the bin straight away. Chuck them out. Chuck them out with the rubbish. What do you think of the salt path couple? Let's have some opinions from the audience, please. Let's have right. Any appointments? Any points of view? And 723 says they're a pair of liars. Patricia Highsmith will solve any mystery. I think that's great. Right. Any opinions on them? Of course, Patricia Highsmith was a complete lesbian. That's true. Yes, she was a lesbian. That's true. She wasn't into men. That's for sure. She was brilliant. Yes. Well, I do think she was brilliant, but yes, she wrote some wonderful books, but she was a very strange person who preferred snails to people. She was very strange. You've got video on exposure of the salt path on my channel now, says Gary Renew. Well, I don't really know what else to say about these salt path people because I didn't know much about them. I wrote a quiz question weirdly about the salt path many months ago, but it was nothing to do with them. It was just to do with the fact this path existed, and it was how long it was, because I found an article about the longest paths you could go on in Britain, and I mentioned this salt path, and I didn't know anything about these two. So it was all new to me today when it came out about them. But what a nasty, evil pair. They're a pair of crooks. They've defrauded the local garage owner. Time for you to pay back. So where are you? Let's be having you, Moth and whatever your name is. Moth and whatever. I've thrown the paper on the floor, so I can't get it now. So yeah, Moth. You are a moth. You're a horrible old moth, aren't you? You're a sleazy, horrible, nasty piece of work, Moth. Pay up, Moth. The garage owner wants his money back. Pay up. You've made loads of money from your book. You made loads of money from your film, and you're a complete liar, liar, pants on fire. So pay up, Moth. And I don't remember what the other one's called, but he's an old creep. He looks dodgy. Dodgy Dave or whatever he's called. What a creep. He should shove himself up his jumper. So no, right, okay, right. Any more questions? You love a beef curry. I'd love a beef curry right now myself. I'd love any kind of curry. I love a curry always. Curry is one of my favorite things to eat. We had a lovely salmon and rice for lunch today. That I cooked myself. Lovely, but no, I would love a curry. Well, yes, I always love a curry, but French people don't know how to make curry. They're useless. They're absolutely incompetent when it comes to curry. They may as well shove that up the jumper. They're not very good at that. We didn't go out for lunch. No, I made the lunch. Yes. How did I cook the salmon? It was just a simple salmon fillet, you know. So there we are, fillet, as they say in McDonald's. Yes, chicken with crispy skin. You like mince and tatties for you tonight? Oh well, mince and tatties. I don't mind a bit of that myself. Anyway, so right, okay. Yes, any more questions? More questions, more questions. Let's have a few more questions. We've got over 140 of you here, according to the stupid thing that doesn't actually count, where we've actually got many, many more, it turns out. You like a beef Wellington? Oh, I like a beef Wellington. I love a beef Wellington. Very nice. Beef Wellington is always very pleasant. But of course, beef Wellington is a bit of a contentious dish today, given that the Australian woman has been convicted of murdering all those people with the beef Wellington. What a nasty woman she was. And her ex-husband, her estranged husband, had a very lucky escape. He was one of the few who didn't turn up. He had a bloody lucky escape, didn't he? Yes. You were going to make a Caesar salad with a char grilled chicken, but you got stuck into Lucy Letby documentaries. Well, Lucy Letby and a char grilled chicken sandwich. It sounds like a very dangerous option, to be honest. Lucy Letby shouldn't be let near anything, especially food, because she might poison it and she might kill somebody. She's a completely evil bitch. And, she's going to be charged, hopefully, with a few more murders, which is what she deserves because she's a monster. Lucy Letby is one of the most repugnant people on the planet. Jeremy Bamber should be freed from prison. Jeremy Bamber, the 609 phone call is proof to me enough. Jeremy Bamber was not in the house when the phone call was made from inside the house. So therefore, Jeremy Bamber is an innocent man. But Lucy Letby is a baby slaughterer. And those poor families, and their lawyer has spoken in recent days and said, enough is enough. Stop piling on more misery onto these families of the victims that she killed. She is a child-killing, slaughtering, baby monstering murderer. She is a horrible, horrible, evil piece of toe rag. And shame on you, Nadine Dorries. And shame on you, David Davis. And shame on you, Peter Hitchens. And shame on all the rest of you who've supported her. She is a monster. And Jeremy is not a monster. Jeremy Bamber deserves justice. And I will continue to campaign for Jeremy Bamber. And I will continue to call out the monster that is Lucy Letby. Lucy Letby is an evil, evil woman. She wrote letters saying, I did this. Why would you do that if you didn't do it? Are you deranged? Are you going to say that, she just wrote it because she just felt like writing it? Oh, it's just a bit of fun. Are you stupid, you stupid people? Are you really that dumb? Get some sense in your brains, you morons. You are worse than the village bloody idiots. I do not tolerate the idiocy of the Lucy Letby supporting group. So there you go. That's my view on that. And I know I rant and I rave and I say my piece, but I speak for the rational, reasonable people. And there are many of us out there who don't like Lucy Letby. And there are many of us out there who support Jeremy Bamber. Wouldn't you agree?
Yes.
Yes. We want Jeremy Bamber out of jail. Jeremy Bamber deserves justice. He could not have been the killer. Read the New Yorker. Read the wonderful Heidi Alexander article, 17,000 words, and read the interview with the police officer who said he was there when a phone call was made from inside the house at 6:09. Jeremy Bamber was outside the house from 3 a.m. with the police. How, therefore, can Jeremy Bamber be the killer? If there was a phone call from inside the house at 6:09, he cannot be the killer. It is totally illogical. And my friends and I support Jeremy Bamber. I went from 40% convinced that Jeremy Bamber was guilty, innocent, to 99.9%, because of course there's a chance some weird thing could have happened, but Jeremy Bamber, in my view, is an innocent man, and I will continue to support him, as I will continue to support Mark Alexander, an innocent man who Terry Waite also supports, and Omar Ben-Gwiat, who is a man who is wrongly imprisoned. It's a terrible thing. And, the Menendez brothers in America, who who are going to get out. You all told me I should never support the Menendez brothers. I was proven right, wasn't I? Because they're getting out of prison. They will be getting out of prison. So I actually look at the truth of the story. A fact is not a fact until you've proven it's a fact. And I look at the facts. And with Jeremy Bamber, it's terrible. It's taken them 4 years to look at, 6 years to look at 4 pieces of evidence. It's terrible. Out of 10 pieces of evidence submitted. The Criminal Cases Review Commission is not fit for purpose. It's a terrible organization. I probably got the numbers the wrong way around because I'm numerically dyslexic, and you all know that. So please accept my apology on the numbers. I think I may have got the numbers wrong, but I'm not very good at numbers. But honestly, Jeremy Bamber deserves justice. And it is time for justice for Jeremy. And I support justice for Jeremy 150%. I'm well behind it. And I think that Philip Walker and Yvonne Hartley are doing a wonderful job, and lovely Emma Morris and all the others. Well done to you for campaigning for justice for this poor man who has been wrongly imprisoned because of the lies of Essex police and the lies of the Boutflower family. The Boutflower family are a bunch of creeps. Now, you're another lot. Come on, Boutflower family, sue me. I'd love you to sue me as well. I can't stand you horrible bunch of, grave robbers. All you did was steal all the money you could from that estate, and you took everything, the caravan parks, the farm, everything, the Boutflowers, didn't you? The nasty Anne Eaton as well. The nasty Anne Eaton. You're a horrible cow as well. I don't know if you're still alive. You might be dead by now. One would hope you would be, because you're an evil old bitch. Awful, awful people. Wicked, horrible people who wrecked Jeremy Bamber's life. Jeremy Bamber did not murder his family, because the 609 phone call proves he did not murder his family, because he was with the police from 3 a.m. A phone call made inside that house at 6:09 has to be made by Sheila Caffell, nobody else. That's the only person that could have made the call. And then she killed herself. And that is how the whole sequence of events occurred. It is a logical sequence. So, Essex police, shame on you. You're a bunch of disgraces. Absolutely appalling. And DCI Milbank, at least he told the truth finally. He didn't tell the truth until the very end, but he did tell the truth to Heidi Alexander of the New Yorker, and there we go. We get the truth finally. So let's be having the truth, and the CCRC need to review the case. It is time to review the case. Right. Okay. Let's move on to another topic. You say Matthew never holds back. Well, I will speak the truth. I will speak the truth. Anne of Cleavers says Jill Dando found out something and told the wrong person. I don't know the truth of the Jill Dando case. I did speak with the Barry George sister on one occasion, but there we are. I don't know. Let's not go down that route. What Matthew's saying is true. I thought he did it, but I've done a bit of research lately and changing my mind. The police did a shameful investigation. Keystone cops could have done better, says Jules B. There you go. Well, at the beginning, I was 40% convinced he was innocent. I wasn't 100%. I was up 40%, but now I'm 99.9% convinced. Of course, the possibility is there that he did it. There is a possibility that anybody could have done it. The possibility I did it, but there isn't really because I was a child at the time, so that would be a bit bonkers. But the sort of thing. But anyway, please say something nice about Nadine Dorries. No, I will not say anything nice about Nadine Dorries. Nadine Dorries is an apologist for the revolting Lucy Letby. Nadine Dorries was the associate of Boris Johnson. She should shove herself up her ass. She's a disgusting pleb. She's revolting. She's ridiculous. She's nasty. And she's nasty Nad. I can't stand nasty Nad. She's one of the worst politicians ever to have existed on this planet. She makes Anne Widdecombe look human. There you go. You wanted an opinion on nasty Nad? You got it. Right. Jill Dando spoke to Cliff Richard about pedos at the BBC. Wrong move. Well, speaking to Cliff Richard about anything is not a good idea. There you go. I'll leave it at that. You don't want to speak to Cliff Richard about anything. Wasn't a good idea. No, you're quite right there. Have I ever played Cluedo? I have played Cluedo, but not recently. I like to play Scrabble. That's my game of choice. I don't mind a bit of Monopoly, but Scrabble is my game of choice. Okay. Was Jill Dando's sister Suzanne Dando? I don't know. I have no idea who Suzanne Dando is. Can't answer that question, so I will say, sorry, cannot answer that particular question. Do I like chess? Occasionally, but I'm not very good at it. I'm not a great chess master, but I can have a go at it, but I'm not that good. I'm better off at Scrabble. I like word game. Word games are good for me. Anything to do with numbers, forget it. Don't worry about that. Right. Okay. Leslie's parents were Scrabble finds. Okay. Well done. I hope they were very good. Hope they won lots of points and had lovely evenings doing it. Do you like a cryptic crossword? I prefer a general knowledge crossword, to be honest. I find those quite more appealing for myself. But I do a bit of crosswording from time to time. I like the ×2 crossword. That's a good crossword. But whilst I've been here in France, obviously I can't get the times, so I can't do the ×2 crossword. I do love the ×2 crossword. It's a very simple one. It's very quick. Yeah, I do it in about 10 minutes. But I can't do all these. The Daily Mail crossword is a bit boring. It's very dull. Don't like it. It's just a badly composed thing. There's something about it that's not appealing. And the Telegraph one equally is not very good. I like the ×2 crossword. But anyway, never mind. We all like different things. If we all like, some people like apples and some people like pears and some people like apples and pears. So, it doesn't really matter what you like. But I prefer the ×2 crossword, to be honest. And I can't do that here. So I don't do the crossword whilst I'm here. Right, next question. What's happened to Slippery Schofield? Well, I believe he's found a new boyfriend, or he's going to get married or something. Oh, God. God help us all. Do we really need an OK magazine wedding of Philip Schofield and Gordon the Gopher or whatever he's.
No.
We don't need to see that little rat shoving his hand up the bum of something. It's disgusting, absolutely appalling. He's revolting. He's a horrible, horrible man, and he should be consigned to history along with Eamon Holmes, who's another revolting person. Please, we don't need any more of either of these two ghastly, horrible oiks from television's history. They're not quality TV presenters. They're a waste of space. Let's put them on the next jet plane back to Siberia. That's where they belong. Okay. He's getting married in the morning. Where's Hugh Edwards these days? Well, he's probably doing the same thing. You know, he's another of the little crowd. They're all called what I call the club. This bunch of creeps stick together. Horrible, horrible people. And where's Holly Willoughby? If you want to have a go at anybody, have a go at her as well. She's just as awful. She's ghastly. Holly, go lightly. Holly, go away a bit, I'd say. Get her off the screen. Horrible Holly. I can't stand that woman. She's one of the worst. She's worse than them because she's an enabler of them. And then there's Anthea Turner. Get her off the screen. And Lizzie Cundy. Get her out. All of them. Get rid of a lot of them. Throw them out. Are you okay? Yes, precisely, asked Thumbs Up. Yeah, are you okay? Are you really okay? Is what I should ask in response. And that's what I will ask. Holly is gorgeous, says SOS Racing. Are you deranged? She's a mental case. Awful. Dance Up says Fern Cotton. Yes, no, she's nothing. Jason Donovan. Well, I won't answer your question the way it is because it'd be considered offensive, but I think you can guess the correct answer. Sorry, we have a washing machine making a complete racket. I have warned her that the washing machine is falling apart, but she won't listen. What's my opinion on Harvey Proctor? He's a dreadful piece of toe rag, absolutely awful. Would I go on a new show called Loose Men? No. Right. Okay. Katie Price. Well, she's awful. Anyway, I'm very sorry. This stupid washing machine. I did point out that I did not want to do my program.
It's a dryer and you haven't got enough in it.
It's not a dryer. Are you stupid?
It goes on to drying.
It doesn't dry anything. It doesn't have a dryer. You deranged? She's ruining my show again now. It's ridiculous.
Talking about washing machines.
There is no dryer in this machine. It's just a washing machine. It's just doing its spin. It's doing a spin. Oh, for God's sake. It's like dealing with a child here. You have to talk to the wall. Absolutely ridiculous. There is no dryer in this machine. It's just some mad washing machine. It's just spinning. And now it'll spin a bit and it'll shut itself up because it's got a stupid effing shoes in it, which makes a fucking racket. It's absolutely annoying that I have to put up with such things when I'm trying to do my program. Anyway, never mind. There we go. We don't use a dryer. No, there is no dryer. There is no dryer, so don't listen to it. Oh, God. It's like dealing with a wall of stupidity. And now it'll spin around a bit more and make a bit more racket. And oh, God.
Finished, though.
It has not finished. No, now it will spin around a bit more and it'll... Really, please stop ruining my program. It's not fair. The shouting in the background. Will you apologize?
Sorry.
Yes, thank you. She got it wrong. The washing machine is still going as a washing machine. That's what it is. And we don't need to talk about effing washing machines on my program. My program is meant to be about other matters than bloody washing machines. So I don't want to talk about it. Anyway, it's not a dryer. It's now still washing the clothes. So anyway, there we go.
I don't know why you even put it on.
The comment in the background is totally ridiculous as usual, and you know the moaning I get if I don't put the washing machine on is ridiculous. And now I'm being, why did you put it even on? That's ridiculous. You don't like the fighting on my program? It's ruining my program. So stop this. You're upsetting my audience. Thank you. It makes no odds or sense to anyone on the program. Stop it. Precisely. Anyway, let's move along and talk about something else. I'm very, very sorry, audience. It's not correct that I have to have my program ruined by people shouting in the background. It's not correct. You're damned if you do and you're damned if you don't, precisely. And that's exactly what happens to me with all of this. Yes. Well, anyway, let's talk about something else because I'd rather talk about something else. Thank you very much. I don't need shouting at me. It's not correct. Nothing's going to explode, but please, let's have some kindness and consideration and sense and sensibility, as they say. It would be nice to actually. What do I think of Penny Mordaunt? She's not that offensive. She's not the worst. She's not the best, but she's not the worst. So I will forgive. I'll give Penny Mordaunt a pass. I'm doing all the shouting. Okay, well, I can shout as much as I want because it's my bloody program. So if you don't like my bloody program, get out of my pub. Get out of my pub. That's what I'll say. I'll speak like, Peggy Mitchell. I'll say, get out of my pub. There you go. If you don't like me, get out of my pub. There you go. Teach you a lesson. Bog off. I don't like people who I don't, right. You can definitely go. You're definitely one of the pests. Get out of my pub. Don't want you around. Get out. And 723 likes Penny Mordaunt, Penny Lancaster, and Penny from Bexley Heath, who works in your local boozer. Well, there you go. Penny Lancaster is meant to be a very nice lady, actually. Nothing wrong with Penny Lancaster. So there you go. Lucy Worsley says your standards are dropping. You one drink from the road, pennies from heaven, up your jumper. Well, if you don't like me, get out of my pub. I'm really not that interested in people who are rude to me. If you don't like me, get out. Get out of my pub. Absolutely. Why shouldn't I tell you to bog off? You're awful. Rude people have got no place in my life. If you don't like me, get out. Yes, Penny Lancaster is a special police officer. Yes, she's doing a good job. Well done to Penny Lancaster. Rod Stewart's Lady Stewart is a proper title. She's a police officer. Good for her. She's doing a good job. I salute her. Well done to her. Miss Marple says we need a Steeples board game. Throw a six and temporary band, community chest. You've won a quiz. Well, you don't need a board game. You've got my board. You've got your board game. You've got me every night, every now and again, and yeah, you don't need anything kind of board game. No. But I will not tolerate people who are rude. Anyway, this stupid washing machine will shut up in a minute, hopefully, because it's bloody making a racket. It's bloody awful. Miss Marple says you're a living board game. Well, you are. Well done. I wouldn't have turned it on, but just the effing thing had to be turned on because there's so much washing to do. I won't be doing any more today, that's for sure. It can shove itself up its jumper. Right. Yes. Okay, well. Right. Okay, are we ready? Are you ready for a quiz? I think it's time you had a quiz. Let's be honest. I think a quiz is probably a better thing to do. I can find a bit of this piece of paper. I can write down the side of it. Right. Okay, are you ready for a quiz? I'm very sorry about the stupid washing machine. My work is ruined by other people's antics, and washing machines are definitely something that I do not need in my life. I don't need them constantly on. Washing machines should be turned on once a day, and that's about it. But sadly, in this stupid house, they're on all the time. I want to go and hit the washing machine, but it's probably not a good idea. Okay, well, anyway, do you want to do a quiz? Are you ready for a quiz? Hopefully, this washing machine will shut up in a minute. Right, are you on top of it? A quiz. Well, I have to write down all the people who win, obviously, because none of you are capable of doing this anymore. You used to do this for me, one of you, but none of you do it. Right. Okay, in Liverpudlian slang, what would you be referring to if you reference busies? What would you be referring to in Liverpudlian slang if you referenced busies? Jane gets the point. Well done, Jane. 1 point to Jane. It is the police. Okay, what is the nickname of the England women's national football team? What are they called? The England's national women's football team. They were governed by the Football Association since 1993. The first person to say the correct answers is Hey Tiggers. Hey Tiggers, well done. It's or Hey Tigers or whatever you call. Hey Tiggers, Hey Tigers. It was the Lionesses. Okay, in which England county would you find the village of Quormer? It's pronounced Quormer, spelt Quernmore. Quormer. It's not Sussex. It's not Peckham. It's not Kent. Well, Peckham isn't a county. It's not Shropshire. It's not Chicken. That's not a county either. It's not Lincolnshire or Cumbria. It's not Sussex. It's not Devon. It's not Norfolk. It's not Cornwall. It's not Lincolnshire. It's not Bedfordshire. It's not Peckham under the Minge. Peckham has got nothing to do with it.
Northwich.
Anne of Cleves gets it with Lancashire. Anne of Cleves. My father had rather a lot of shooting there. We had a lot of woods there for our pheasant shoot, and Corma is part of the Bowland National ANOB. of course, Clougher Pike and the Royal Forest. And of course, Owen Oyston owns the house called Cormer Park. The man who owned Blackpool Football Club, who went to prison for being a rapist, a lovely friend of many a Labour politician. So, controversial man. And there we go. So, I know a bit about Cormer. And Cormer is, of course, the home of the best British sheepdogs. At Rowton Brook Farm in Cormer, they bred the very most expensive sheepdogs in the world. Some of these sheepdogs cost several £100,000. Amazing sheepdogs. So, I grew up in that area, and it's an area close to my heart. So, I say wonderful cheers to all the people in Cormer. So there you go. But there we are. And well done to our lovely Anne of Cleves, who got the answer correct. In which year did Mary the First die? Mary the First. Which year did Mary the First die? It wasn't 1767. It wasn't 1986. Mary the First. It wasn't 1205.
1400.
It wasn't 1400. Real Eyes is quite close, but not correct. But Lucy Worsley, who is obviously using a fake name, because you're not really Lucy Worsley, is correct. It's 1558. She died in 1558, aged 42. She had ovarian cysts, or maybe uterine cancer. She had influenza, had killed the Archbishop Pole on the same day. Her successor, of course, was her daughter Elizabeth I. There you go. You've learnt some historical things today about Cormer and Elizabeth I. In which year, with the loss of 250 lives, did the Irish paddle steamship sink on the sands of Margate in Kent, near Broadstairs? Which year did it sink? No, it wasn't 1687. No, it wasn't in 1985. No, it wasn't 1352. It was a paddle steamer. How could it be there in 1352 as a paddle steamer? How ridiculous. Stupid answer. It wasn't 1788. It wasn't 1896. It wasn't 2:15. No. None of you are very close. You're all useless. You're as much use as a chocolate teapot. Absolutely appalling answers, and loads more stupid answers like 2018. For God's sake. It wasn't 1976. It was 1958. It was a paddle steamer. It wasn't 1997. That was the year Tony Blair won the general election. Are you absolutely fools? Nobody gets the point at this stage. You're absolutely useless. It wasn't 1663. That was a ridiculous answer too. That's a bit too early. It wasn't 1890. No, that's nowhere near. Hey Tigers is close. Hey Tigers is close, but that's the closest I've got. It wasn't 1754, no, but Hey Tigers was close. No. Audrey is quite close, but Hey Tigers was closer. It wasn't 2088. No. Right. Well, anyway, I think you're absolutely useless. But hey, Tigers, you can have a second point because you're the closest. So, of course, it was 1850, but Hey, Tigers was the closest. It was a steamship that sank on the sands off Margate in Kent, and it was near Broadstairs, and it was March the 30th, storm, many Irish passengers who were fleeing the potato famine. Okay, and we're going to continue with another question about the potato famine. Which year was the worst year of the Irish potato famine? Became known as the Black 47. What year was the year? The Black 47. Hey Tigers gets another point. It's 1847. Well done. The famine was from 1845 to 1852. The population of Ireland fell from 8.5 million to 4.4 million, one of the greatest single exoduses from a single island in history. Isn't that an appalling thing? Isn't that sad? Poor people. What, to have that happen to you? What an awful thing. But anyway, at the moment we've got Jane on 1 point, Hey Tigers or Hey Tigers on 3 points. We've got Anna Cleves on 1 point and Lucy Worsley, who obviously is not really Lucy Worsley, on 1 point. So we've got the fake Lucy Worsley on 1 point. Okay. Okay. Which year? Sorry, no. Da, 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 da. Which English playwright once said, "Work is more fun than fun"? He also said, "Television is for appearing in, not for looking at." Who said that? Which English playwright once said, "Work is more fun than fun"? It wasn't Shakespeare, it wasn't Oscar Wilde, it wasn't Stephen Fry, God help us. It wasn't Pinter. It wasn't. It was Noel Coward. Yes. So Audrey gets the point. Well done, Audrey. Audrey is our winner of the point. Noel Coward. We love a bit of Noel Coward. Don't let's be beastly to the Germans. We must not be nasty to the Hun. There you go. And hopefully they heard me because they pissed me off.
Not back here.
I don't know. Well, we don't like them. So anyway, okay. So Lady Min says they're not back yet. There we go. Anyway, they don't like us anyway, so I don't like them either. So I can be as beastly to them as I wish to be. I think we have to remind them to be nice. At twice the price, as they say. No good old Noel Cat. Okay, in which London courtyard, where the inventor of the cravat once fought a duel and bear baiting went on, did the Texan Republic have their embassy from 1842 until joining the USA in 1845? What was the name of the courtyard? It's a wonderful courtyard, and it's next to a wonderful wine merchant. There's your clue. It wasn't Eaton Square. It wasn't Buckingham Palace. It wasn't Savile Row. It wasn't. Well, it was in St James's, but what was the name of the courtyard? Simon Braveheart. You say St James's. It's not St James's. It's not. Gallery New gets the point. Gallery New. It was Pickering Place. And Pickering Place is, of course, part of Berry Brothers and Rudd. And the wonderful, wonderful Berry Brothers and Rudd. It was the setting for the last duel ever to be held in Britain. It's Berry Brothers and Rudd's entrance to their cellars. It's a wonderful, wonderful place, and I love Pickering Place. I'm very lucky to know lots of weird things about London and lots of lovely things about lots of other places. Okay, who was cast as the millennial heartthrob? And I went to university with his sister, in the Twilight Vampire franchise between 2008 and 2012. She was a good friend of mine when I was a child, the sister. But who was the person, the Twilight man? It wasn't Janet Evans, no, and it wasn't Claire Mandel, no. Claire Mandel does get a daily mention, obviously. It wasn't David Essex. But Anna Cleavers now gets a second point. So Anna Cleavers is in second place now. It was Robert Pattinson. Robert, I knew when he was a young man, but I've never seen him since. Okay, as of June 2025, which is the most expensive seaside town in terms of property prices in Britain? Panch H gets the point. Well done, Panch H. And thank God the washing machine shut its mouth. It was Sandbanks. The average price there is 1.282565 million. Obviously, Harry Redknapp lives there. Only seaside spot with an average asking price above £1 million in Great Britain as of 2025. Okay, how many thousand square miles does the Kruger National Park in South Africa measure? How many thousand square miles? All the big five game species are there, 147 species conservation. But how many thousand does it measure? It's not 50,000, no. No, you're all. It's not
300.
It's not 300,000. No, it's not 20,000. No, you're not very good at this question. You're definitely very bad. Most of you. Sonia Todd, you can have it. It's 7,576. You said 7,523. So Sonia Todd gets the point. It's 7,576 square miles. Okay, right. Next question. In which year was Prince Michael of Kent, a lovely gentleman? I like Prince Michael of Kent, born. What year was he born? On the 4th of July, American Independence Day. What year was he born? It wasn't 1984. Prince Michael of Kent? He doesn't look like a man born in 1984. Well, Lucy Worsley gets it. Lucy Worsley gets a second point. It was 1942. So well done to Lucy Worsley. Of course, Prince Michael of Kent was the third child of Prince George, Duke of Kent, and Princess Marina of Greece and Denmark. Prince Michael is a great man, and I love him and his children. Well, his daughter I know very well. Lovely girl, and she's been through a lot of adversity, and she's a decent, lovely lady, is Lady Gabriella Windsor. She's been through hell lately, and we salute her and hope she's doing well. She's a nice person. Okay. And her mother, well, she's a bit difficult, but she means well. Let's be honest. Anyway, next question. In which year did with a photographer by Cecil Beaton first feature a cover of a mother with her baby, Life magazine? Which did they first feature a cover of a mother with a baby? Life magazine. it was obviously of Pamela Harriman, who had a son with Winston, then married to Randolph Churchill. She was known as a bedroom spy. Lucy Worsley gets the point. So Lucy Worsley's joined first now. Well done, Lucy. Her nickname was the bedroom spy during World War II. She was a world expert in rich men's bedroom ceilings, dalliances with Prince Ali Khan, Gianni Agnelli, and lots more. Pamela Harriman was a very naughty woman by all accounts. So there we go. She was a society slut, as they say. Okay, right. Next question. During World War II, which female-based British aristocracy, known as the most hated woman, spent 3 years in prison? What was her name? What was the name of the most hated woman in Britain in the war? It wasn't Redgrave. The most hated woman in Britain during the war. Please. It wasn't Janet Evans, and it wasn't Claire Mandel. No.
Eva
It was
Braun.
Diana Mitford, Miss Perfect. Miss Perfect gets it. Miss Perfect gets it. It wasn't Claire Mandel. No. Claire Mandel is a very hated woman, but she's not the most hated woman in Britain in the war. And of course, she spent 3 years in prison. She was a fascist, obviously. She was previously married to Guinness. She died in 2003, and she was a fascist. I did meet her son, obviously, Max Mosley. I knew him quite well. I did know her other. I knew another of her children, who was Desmond Guinness. So I've spent a lot of time with these people, but they were decent people, but they just lived in the shadow of the horrible story that their monstrous mother and horrible father created. Association with Nazis is a very bad thing, and I've got it here myself. I don't like these nasty Germans who go around hitting birds. There's something about these people not very nice. I'm not making any generalization, but what I will say is this: you don't go around attacking birds. Leave the birds alone. Wouldn't you agree?
Yes.
We don't like people who abuse animals. If you abuse animals, there's something wrong with you. There's something sick in your soul. The fact that you need to go around hitting animals or beating up them or attacking them, you've got something wrong in your soul. There's something wrong with your persona. I know this lighting is absolutely awful. Anyway, I'll move it that way a bit. Maybe that makes it a bit better. But I will say no. So anyway, where we go. Right, we'll carry on with the quiz. Where were we up to on the quiz? We were up to the quiz of Prince Michael. No, we've done that. We've dealt with the right. We've done the Mitfords. Okay, in which year was F. Scott Fitzgerald's The Great Gatsby, a favourite of mine, published? Which year was Great Gatsby published? It wasn't 1918. No, it was 1920.
19.
It was 1936. And Sophie Todd gets it. Sophie Todd gets a second point. It was 1925. Obviously, the jazz age, written to reflect the author's youth. I loved The Great Gatsby. It was a great book. I've read it many times. I understand, the complexities of it.
They come back
I've
to their
read
house.
I've read many books of the analysis of it. We love The Great Gatsby. The Great Gatsby is a fabulously written book. I don't care about the people who've come back behind us. They're not from The Great Gatsby. The Great Gatsby well, they wouldn't even fit in the cupboard. They're absolute cupboard dwellers. Sorry, wouldn't you agree?
What?
They're not quite of the quality of The Great Gatsby.
I wasn't a big fan of that.
She's talking a load of rubbish, as usual.
I can be. If I don't like The Great Gatsby, I don't like it.
Well, those people are of the quality of the Great Gatsby. What a load of rubbish! Absolute nonsense. The people behind are definitely not.
That Great Gatsby was a whole lot of rubbish too. It was a whole lot of fake people. It was a whole fake story.
Not a fake story. It's a story.
Social climbing idiots.
She has her view, and I have my view. We can debate The Great Gatsby on another occasion. I think that's probably a good idea. She doesn't understand The Great Gatsby, I don't think, and I don't think she ever did. And now we've got the nasty Herman the German shouting in the background. Yeah, she's getting off her boring boat. She doesn't have a proper boat. She's got a crap boat, but that's because she's a crap person. Let's be honest. Horrible woman. There we go. So you have different views on the Great Gatsby. Do you like the Great Gatsby? Okay, audience. Some of you are saying you love the Great Gatsby. Some of you are saying you hate it. You thought DiCaprio was very hammy. Well, no, DiCaprio was not relevant to the story. He's a piece of rubbish. He wasn't very good at it. Right. Okay. Well, I'm interested in the Great Gatsby for different reasons, but you liked the book, but you didn't like the movie. I agree with you. I'm with you. I loved the book. Didn't like the movie. SS Racing agrees with Min. There you go. We've got differing opinions here. The story was brilliant, says Hey Tiggers. Some characters are based on real people. Dolly Wilde was Oscar Wilde's niece. Yeah, totally true. Oscar Wilde, I know a lot about Oscar Wilde as well. Oscar Wilde, an interesting, deranged character and human. He was totally mad. We have differing opinions, but no, Lady Min gets some agreement. They agree with you. You didn't like it. There we are. Classic fiction, says Biscuitek. Biscuitek loves it. Classic fiction.
The only thing great about it was Robert Redford in the film.
Trust her to say something about a film.
Pretty boy.
Read the actual book.
I'm not reading the book.
People who don't read books are stupid. I never understand morons who can't read a book. If you can't read a book, if you don't read any books because you never read. You don't bother.
Bring me the bloody newspaper every morning.
You don't bother to read. Don't attack me. You could have read The Great Gatsby 50 years ago in your life.
50 years ago.
Of course you could.
I want to do that when I was 20.
Well, you should grow up and man up and show up. Honestly, she can be very difficult, this
I
woman.
saw the film.
I saw the film. Oh dear. The people who say I saw the film, they're always the worst, aren't they? I hate people who say that. That is one of the worst things that people can come out with about anything. I saw the film. Oh, my excuse is I saw the film. I watched the film. What a stupid comment. What a silly comment to come out with. People say, "Oh, I saw the film about Jaws," or "I saw the film about Hitler," or "I saw the film about this." They never read the book. They never read any book because they're just too bone idle and lazy to bother to do some bloody work. I hate people who cannot be bothered to find the effort to read a story. Oh, I've no time to read books. That is the word of a stupid person. That is a stupid person. That is the stupidest person on the planet, because the brightest people I know, and however rich and successful they are, you know, some of the most successful people like Margaret Thatcher, she read every morning. Every morning she read for a couple of hours. But Margaret Thatcher spent the time to read a book. Anyone who says, I haven't got a time to read a book, what a moron. What an idiot. You just said you couldn't be bothered to read a book.
I was busy working.
You're busy working. Well, so was Margaret Thatcher, but she spent time to read a book. So
well, I probably read a chapter to go to bed at night.
So you just talk nonsense. You're talking rubbish. Margaret Thatcher spent the time to read a book. Margaret always read, and brilliant people always read. Reading is one of the most important things you must do in your life. Always get up in the morning and read. Always get up in the evening and read. And don't listen to this lady who talks nonsense, because criticizing reading is stupid. Lady, well, you did.
I had a husband that read every night, and he told me all about everything.
Oh, her husband. Oh, who cares about her fucking husband? He can shove himself up his arse. He doesn't matter, because she doesn't even have any contact with him. It doesn't matter. Anyway, we're moving on. I will say this.
Don't contact the dead.
What I will say is, in the life, it's best to read. Reading is a good thing. She doesn't want to learn to talk about reading because she just doesn't want to.
Reading bloody paper every morning, 25 pages.
Now I'm being criticized for giving her a newspaper.
Not at all.
It's not fair.
I enjoy reading it.
This is what I get done every day. I'm criticized, whatever I do.
Oh, rubbish.
Anyway, never mind. I
happen to love you, Matthew.
No, you don't. But you don't have any respect for me.
I do have enormous respect.
I get you a newspaper every day. What why don't you just say you enjoy reading it?
I do.
So why don't you say you enjoy it?
I love reading it. I love it. It buys me the Express.
No, it's not the Express. It's the Daily Mail.
Or the Mail.
And the Daily Telegraph.
Yeah.
So why don't you just say you enjoy reading it?
Repetitive, I have to say. But the Mail gets it all right before the Telegraph managed to get it out on paper.
Anyway, we haven't finished our quiz. So where are we up to on our quiz? Let's finish our quiz and then I can finish off with all of this. Because honestly, this woman's driving me completely nuts.
Got me onto this.
No, shut up. Okay, right. Enough is enough. Let's have our quiz.
That's enough.
Let's have the rest of our quiz. Where were we up to on our quiz? We did Prince Michael. We did Mosley. We did F. Scott Fitzgerald, of course, because that's what caused the row. What is the current name of the sister ship of the former Royal Yacht Britannia? What is the name of the sister ship? What is the name of the sister ship?
Princess Anne.
It's not the Princess Anne, so she's completely wrong. It's not the Titanic. It's not the Norman Tebbit. It's not the Queen Anne. It's not the Britannic. It's not the Nolans. Oh, God, we don't want the Nolan sisters. They're ghastly. It's not the Britannics. It's not the Endeavour. It's not the Liberty. It's not the Queen Mary. It's not the Trumpler. It's not the Trump. It's not Rule Britannia. No. Lucy Worsley gets the point. Lucy is Lucy Worsley with our fake name is now in the lead. You've got 4 points. You are now the leading person in our quiz. It's called the Fingal. It's called the Fingal. It's a hotel in Leith. It's in the docks, Leith Docks. It was bought by the trust that owns the Royal Yacht Britannia, and it has 22 cabins, and it operates as a hotel. So there you go. You can stay on the Fingal. Anyway, how many seats are there in the Royal Box at Wimbledon? How many seats are there at the Royal Box at
12.
Wimbledon? Madam's answer of 12 is incorrect. Your answer of 8 is incorrect. 10,000 is incorrect. Right. Sonia Todd gets the point. So Sonia Todd now has 3 points. Sonia Todd is doing very well. Of course, it's 74 seats. Attendees are invited, of course, by the chairman of the All England Club. And, people this year are people like Eddie Redmayne who get invited, that kind of type of person. Okay, in which year did James Pym first produce Pimm's? What year was Pimm's, the drink called Pimm's, first produced?
You know this.
No, it wasn't 1903. It wasn't 1776. It wasn't 1922. Right, okay, we've got... Oh, God. I don't know. Here we are. Just a minute. Lucy Worsley gets another point. Okay, Lucy Worsley is now in the lead, well in the lead with 5 points. Lucy, you're doing very well tonight, Lucy. You're either very good at answering quiz questions or you're very good at going on Google. So we have to be cautious of your thing because you seem to find out things very quickly. But anyway, never mind. We will not attack you yet. Okay. So James Pym first produced Pimm's in 1823. It's now owned by Diageo since 1997. It's a gin-based fruit cup liqueur. It was made by a farmer's son from Kent, owned an oyster bar near the Bank of England. There you go. So that's the history of Pimm's. There were multiple types of Pimm's, but obviously now they only make a couple. So, okay. So your next question. How many $1 million did the late Diana, Princess of Wales's red and white wool sheep jumper sell for against an estimate of $50,000 to $80,000 at a Sotheby's auction in New York in 2023. How much did it sell for?
£26,000.
Well, that's mad.
Wasn't a lot.
Sonia Todd is the closest with 1.1 million. So Sonia Todd, 4 points to you. It was $1.14 million. She wore it in 1981. So the person shouting in the background is far, far off.
I wasn't far off.
You're far, far off. You said £26,000.
Well, what did it go for? 1 million?
$1.14 million. So you're miles away. She's completely mad. Anyway, how many years after falling out did Liam and Noel Gallagher take until their on-stage reunion on the 4th of July 2025 in Cardiff? How many years?
25.
Keely gets the point straight away. Keely is correct. It is 16. Keely gets that point. 75,000 fans present, hugs, embraces. Richard Ashcroft is their supporter. So our winner tonight is Lucy Worsley. Well done to Lucy. Lucy Worsley, you win. Lucy, you are the winner. Lucy Worsley.
Ow.
Anyway, Lucy wins the quiz. So quiz winner is Lucy. I hate this lighting. It's awful. Absolutely dreadful. I can't be dealing with this lighting. It's totally. That's better. That works for me. That's better. So anyway, thank you very, very much. And thank you for joining in. So thank you for joining in with everything. Have we any more questions before we close this program down?
Granny has to go pee-pees.
Is Lucy really Miss Marple?
Ooh.
Right. I don't know. Okay, right. Are we all right? Are we all right? Are you really all right? Are we Holly Willoughby? Thank you to the quiz host. Well, thank you for the winner. Well done to the winner. Winner, chicken dinner. Absolutely well done. So I don't know what that noise means, but please don't read anything into it. It's not my problem. Have I ever met Cliff Richard? Yes, I have met Cliff Richard. He's vile, awful. Have I ever skinned a rabbit? I have, yes. I've done that, yes. Did I see the mushroom killer, Erin Pattinson, who was in the kitchen prison and tampered with the food? Well, I don't know anything about her. No, I don't know her, obviously. Thank you to Big Arm for giving congratulations for our program. We are very glad that you enjoyed it. Why has Cliff Richard given up his British citizenship? Well, we all know why, don't we? Yep. We'll see what happens later. Nasty old Cliff. falling off a cliff is what we should say, isn't it? Tell me more about Gatsby. I like I like the Great Gatsby. I think it's a great book. She doesn't like the book. She's got no interest in the book, and that's why she was abusive. The book is a great book. It's an educational book in many ways for society, and it's about the things that are wrong with society. So it's a very fascinating thing to read. But anyway, I won't go. We'll talk about the Great Gatsby another time. Let's go down that route. She's coming out of the bathroom now, so God knows what's going to happen. Anyway, I think I should end the program now and say thank you very, very much. Have a lovely evening. You've been absolutely wonderful as an audience. We've done 1 hour and 45 minutes. You've been absolutely fabulous. I don't know. She's wandering around. And I wish you a happy evening and take care. Lots of love to all of you. You've been a great audience. So, top of the evening to you and pip pip. Take care and good night. Take care. Okay. Thank you very, very much to you, my wonderful audience. You have been a great audience as usual. And toodle pip and take care. Good night.
Oh.